What's up, guys? I'll give you a little update. Got a lot of shit done. I didn't do videos of everything. But I'm just gonna go through what I've done. If you guys don't like this home renovation shit, then don't watch it. I don't know. I'm just doing it because that's what I'm doing, and I'm gonna do some videos of it. uh, Okay. All right. So anyway, remember that wall right there was sagging like a mug. So what I had to do, I figured out they had a piece like this. I mean, old. It was the old shit, but about that long, maybe a foot, scabbed in that corner to join two pieces. So it was sagging real bad there, and that caused that thing to, it didn't make the right seal. So, it was looking like that. You know what I mean, in that corner. So what I did, I got my jack. I've got bottle jacks, but this one was better. It just worked easier. It was a bitch to get it down there, but I was glad it was down there because it's low profile. And then I put an old ass piece of oak 6x6 under there and jacked it up. And then I ripped out the old joist. There was just one of those holding that whole thing, no foundation in between. And what I did was I ripped a couple of those down, and so there's three of them in there. So that would be it's a 6x6 under there now. This piece right here is just to nail my floor to. And I used these bad mammer jammers, and I went in at different angles. And then I also used some of this stuff. I drilled them out at all thread. That's 5/8. And I've got 4 of those through there also. And, the problem was, in this corner, that corner was bad too. I mean, it was one of these posts right there. You know what I mean? Yeah. Do you see it with the lags in it? And you see the bottom? So the whole thing was sagging. It was sagging on both sides, which, anyway. But now there's basically a 6x6 under there. And it's on that foundation. It's on that foundation. And it's on, and it's on this pillar I poured. Now this pillar, I actually cut this thing and wrapped it around that foundation, and then drilled out and tied 1-inch lags I put into the existing foundation to tie it in. And anyway, let me show you. So that pad under there is 1.5 feet thick. That's what the cinder block wall is sitting on, and these things go 2.5 feet down. So they were like 3.5 feet, because I've got about a little over a foot above ground, so right around 3.5 feet. Yeah, it sucked digging all that stuff. I mean, roots, saber-tooth mice fossils. It was pretty bad. All right, so that's what I have here. And then had to leave that because that's where they put that drain. Now that's just a trap, like I said before. What I am going to do, I'm going to put another cinder block in the bottom of it. And then I've got these vents. I want it vented. I've got these vents I bought. I wasn't sure what size I was going to need. But both sides, that's metal. Nothing's going to crawl through there. And then I'll just put one of those right across the top. Right across the top there. So then I used, so I also have those 5/8 lags in that one and that one. And then that one I actually had to use a wedge. I had to drill down in it because there was no way to get it under all that shit that was there. And here, I'll show you what I used. I used these 5/8 wedges. Son of a bitch. Oh, here they are. And I tightened that thing. I tightened it as hard as I could. It was not coming out. Anyway, So then I put a vapor barrier down, boom, and then I pressure treated 2x6 right there. That's my bottom plate, and then right there, that is a 6x6. That's in a true 6x6. That's this stuff right here that I got milled. Now this wood, these trees had been there. It is dry. It's definitely dry. He showed me like the weight of the fresh ones they were cutting were they were sappy sons of bitches. Anyway, so then I did that. Let me zoom back out. So then I did that, and after I got that up, okay, then were the joists. Okay, now these joists, I was gonna reuse these existing ones that you guys saw in the other video, but if you look, so they already had to rip them down a little bit to fit them into there, but none of them were uniform and they were sloppy. Like, look, that's 1.5 inches. They overcut it. It's full of nails. They're not true. I would have had to snap a line, string it. I mean, I just didn't want to use them. They're not straight. So I elected to just go with all new flooring. And then what else I did, after I got my joist in on this side, I made a bunch of these, and I put them in between my joists. So I have no, so they're not going to twist or anything like that. And then I elected to put this here. I elected, what am I, a fucking mayor? Anyway, right down the seam. That's my center of my room. Because I did go with tongue and groove flooring. So there it is. And that's gonna seam right in there. I'll just, like on this side, because I have a seam right here, I'm gonna start on this side and go back, and then my seams won't meet. Yeah, so got that all in, and then I'm leaving this side open for now. You know, that's just for my saw. But anyway, I'm leaving it open because I still have to put all my mechanicals in, and I have to tie in my drain. I have to do my water, because this wall here is going to be a washroom, or not a washroom, like a washer machine that washes your clothes room. And then I've been looking at this wall the whole time I've been doing this, and just I was just going to build another wall in front of it, but I can't, man. That is a load-bearing wall. If you follow it up, look at that. That is a load-bearing wall. And they just scabbed so many pieces in over the years that it's just, I mean, look at that. Look at that top plate's all rotted. That's the old roof right there. See that? So that's a load-bearing wall. So what I'm going to do, rather than ripping all that drywall down and all that, here's what I'm going to try anyway. I'm going to get a long sawzall blade, long flappy sawzall blade, and I'm going to come behind those pieces to cut the drywall screws. And I'm going to take a piece out, put it in, take it out, put it... I mean, obviously, I'll do my top plates and shit first. And my bottom plate's actually solid. I'll replace my top plates. I'm going to have to support that wall from this side, because this is actually the load side of that wall. So I'll support this, and then rather than ripping all that drywall, because it's actually 3 different rooms. That's the kitchen. So then there's a wall that goes that way. This is going to be the mechanical room. And then here's another wall that goes that way, and that's her closet. So, that's what I'm going to do. And then over here is going to be like a pantry. So that's just going to stay a 2x4 wall. Not this new, the shit from the mill, that's going to be like actually 1x5. 1.5 by 3.5, a regular 2x4 like that. But this wall, I'm going to put a double wall. So I'm going to rebuild that wall, and then I'm going to put another wall in front of it, because this is a plumbing wall, and I need to get I need to get a stack up and through the roof, and I also need to get my drain in, and you can't get that in a 2x4 wall. And then this is going to be a closet right here. So that's going to go back down to regular 2x4. And this room's, it's 18 by 9. There's a little bit of room in here, so it's kind of Tracy's job. Like, baby, what do you want me to do? And let's order the shit. You know, the cabinets, flooring, all that stuff. I mean, you know, I just work here. I've said that before. But this is her house, man. Like, you know, I said, you know, a lot. I'm so sorry I say that all the time. It bothers me. I watch these videos and I can't believe how much I say that. But anyway, so that's what we have going on. I'm also going to support all these on this side. I'm gonna put these over in there. But I'll do that before I finish putting this flooring in. This insulation right here, that's rated at R19. That's got a rating of 19. I couldn't believe it. But I've seen other people use it, and I've talked about it, I think, in a previous video. I've seen other people use it. They're really happy with it. It's got almost like a metal in it that mice won't chew through. That other shit, mice get in there, live in there, they make nests. This stuff is going to be okay. I was listening to the radio the whole time. I know every word to every country song there is. But, and there's guys that specialize in crawl space foam insulation. And, you know, the spray-on shit. I may have them do this whole house underneath. The floors were kind of cold. We got that snow and the floors were kind of cold. But that could be because I ripped the back of my house off, too. You know what I mean? It's kind of open to that. So that's something I'm definitely going to look into. It's nice and dry under there. I just may want to insulate it. I want to do everything right, so my bills in the future are going to be cheap, you know, and you insulate your house right, you're going to save a lot of money over the years. Another thing, this thing is running right now. I've been hearing this damn water heater. Dude, it turns on and off a million times a day. And I've got it turned way down, too. Before I take a shower at night, I turn it back up, and it just constantly burns propane. So I'm going to get an energy efficient one. I'm going to have to research that. I don't know. I'm probably not going to do any instant hot type stuff, but maybe I will. I'm going to research it and see what's up with that. But what else? My arm is getting tired from holding this damn camera. I'm beat. I know I look like shit. I've been working, honestly, like 18-hour days. I wake up around 5, have 1 cup of coffee, and then I friggin' hit it. Like, work till 2 in the morning, work till 3:30, pouring that wall. I went to bed at 4:30 in the morning, stopped working at 4, took a shower, and then I woke back up at 7, you know, and because I had to get that concrete wall in, man, so I could get going on this carpentry. The carpentry took, you know, a day and a half. The carpentry went easy. But let me talk a little bit about this. So this top plate, I don't know if you guys remember, it had a huge sag in it, 4 inches. This wall was sagging. And it's, you know, obviously because of that shit foundation that was there. And I elected to go, why do I keep saying that? I went with true 2x4s. That's why I went to the mill, because that top plate is 2x4. And I didn't want to scab in a 1.5 by 3.5, you know, like that, like you get from Lowe's or whatever, and then have to put some kind of strip on top of that and just, you know, brad nail it or whatever. But it worked out well. It's straight as hell. That is true. You could snap a line. I mean, to the 16th. That's how straight that wall is. And it was great. You know, and to do it, what I did was when I took out these supports, I put 1 or 2 in here just to hold up that wall. And then I started on that side. I snapped my line. I knew exactly what I needed for measurements on all these. And I beat the sons of bitches in there, you know, one at a time. You know, I just, with this big ass hammer right there, I think that's probably a 3 pound or some shit like that. I don't know, whatever it is. Yeah, my favorite one that I've had since I was 16 got stolen out of that van when my van got stolen. Shit like that. Like, I had a pair of channel locks they were my first channel locks in my life. And they were my favorite channel, but they're fucking gone. Whatever. Back to the wall. And I also really like that hammer too. you know, it was more like, what do they call that? I don't know, it's kind of personal. I liked that hammer. It's been through a lot of shit with me, and same with those channel lines. But anyway, so now that wall is true. 100%, it's good. And they had them 24. I went 16. You know, what the hell? I had the wood. All this wood, $50. I can't believe that. I'm going back to that mill, man. I'm gonna build a lot of shit with that stuff. It's true dimensional lumber, and it's cheaper. It's like, you know, a quarter of what you would pay at the, you know, Lowe's or Home Depot. You know, I got that guy's number. You know, put that son of a bitch on speed dial. But yeah. So now I'm going to, and I'm going to keep this video short, or you know, I'm going to cut it off anyway. I'm going to put up this insulation right here, and you just use these little. Where's that fucking bag? This shit. You know, so I'm going to put that up, and then I've got this really cool tape that it's like rubber, man, to tape all those seams. And then I'm also, here's another thing, I'm insulating every single wall in here, even the closets and the pantry. I'm doing that because when the washer and dryer are running, it'll deafen that sound. I don't want to be sitting in my living room listening to the damn washer and dryer. So I'll insulate all these walls with like R19 bad insulation or whatever. You know what the shit is. I don't know if it's called bad insulation. I'm an electrician, man. Yeah, that's another thing. Like that wall out there, that's the first wall I ever built, concrete wall I ever built in my life, ever. You know? But I always watch other people work on jobs. I mean, that sounds like I'm a lazy bum. But you know, I mean, I just kind of check them out. Like, oh, that's how they do that. And you just pick shit up. It's not the best wall in the world, but I think, I mean, those cinder blocks, like, if you look, they're a little stained because I was sloppy with my mortar. That's mortar on the sides of it. But those bricks, those cinder blocks, came from over there. You know? I woke up early one morning. See them over there? Yeah, that's where those cinder blocks came from. But anyway, I mean, I'm not a mason, but I think that turned out all right. And I'm not a carpenter either. I think I'm super happy with the way this turned out. Anyway, tell me what you guys. One more thing I was thinking about, and here's what I want you guys' opinion. I can lose this ceiling, this you know, those 2x4s. They're not supporting anything. They're just to put a ceiling in there, and I could totally make this laundry room. I could make that the ceiling up there, and then that way I could get uppers even higher or do something cool, maybe even put a skylight in here. But it's a fucking laundry room. I don't know. I was talking to my baby and talking to my baby mama. No, I was talking to my girl and maybe we don't need to do all that shit. It wouldn't be that hard to do. I was just kind of looking at it like I could totally do that. Maybe in the pantry, though. You know? But here's the room that's next. It's sagging like a son of a bitch. It's got this, I'm sure it's got fire bricks in it. But at least the foundation's there. So I'm going to have to rip up all that floor and just set new joists. And, you know, obviously rip out all these walls and see how bad that is. But, you know, the paneling, this is just bullshit paneling. So, that's it for this one here. Let me put a cool background in here for my little ending. I hope you guys can see my, you know, it's kind of funny. Before I shut this video, it looks like a mess, but I actually cleaned up a little bit. I felt like I was waiting for an inspector. You know, all the work I do in the city, inspectors show up, and you kind of want your job site to look clean and whatever. But, yeah. So did I pass the inspection, guys? Anyway, tell me what you guys think. If there's anything you guys are thinking, oh, man, you could do this, that would be cool. I'm totally open for suggestions. Comment, rate, and subscribe if you want to.